Questions for Coach?
Roy, after the game all night, Cam and Kenny both said that they knew they played poor defensively in the first half, lacked intensity, and at halftime, while you did get on them, they kind of knew as a group that we can't do this anymore. We did it early in the year, we can't do it now. Have you seen that type of growth, kind of ownership there?
I think they've taken more ownership completely on the defensive end of the floor than they were earlier. Earlier, I felt like I was down on my knees begging, scolding, hitting them over the head with the broom, whatever it was, every single day. And I've seen some improvement. I got on at halftime the other night because, one of the things that we do is we spend a lot of time making out a scouting report. And if we spend that much time and make out a scouting report and say this guy can shoot, then don't test him. We know he can. And so I got on a great deal the other night about following what we told you to do. And I think they were much better in the second half. Battle has not been a great shooter from three-point line in the second half. I think he made 3 or 4 or something like that. But I think we did get out to Hughes a lot better than we had in the first half, to say the least.
Coach, going off along that, other than the defense, as we flip the calendar towards March, is this team kind of rounding into what you have envisioned it to be, or do you still think there's more room to grow or much room to grow?
Well, I'll answer it 2 ways. I never really do plan out where I think you should be. I say that a lot, but I really never do. But we try to work every single day to get better, and I think we have gotten better. But I think the second part of the question, I definitely think we can get a lot better on the defensive end of the floor. Some of the breakdowns we have, I turn around to the bench and look at my guys, coaches or players, and one game I turned around and one of the players said, "We have no idea." It's that kind of thing. So it's got to be total concentration 100% of the time that you're out there on the court and taking the information we give you on a scouting report, put that to use, and then do the things that we practice every day. But I do believe that we can get a lot better defensively, yes.
Is there an element specifically defensively you think you guys have made the most growth on as a unit?
No. I think it's not like in golf. Your chipping is different from your driving. But in the defensive end of the floor, staying in front of the ball is a lot different from boxing out, but it all goes together so much. I still say probably staying in front of the ball is the biggest thing, but that's the hardest thing nowadays. I mean, kids can do so much with the ball, and the palming the ball is never called, and they do it a lot, and so it's almost impossible for a good player not to be able to get you into the lane because you just can't stay in front of him. But that's still the thing we need to work on the most.
When the players spoke back in November, December, mainly about some of the defensive issues, they always brought up communication. Is that an area that you've seen a lot of improvement in?
No, but I'd say, again, a little improvement. I mean, you guys, a lot of people say, boy, you've gotten a lot better defensively. Did you watch what the crap I watched the first half 2-3 nights ago? I don't think you could put that in that area. So I don't think we've gotten a lot better, but I think it's daily, we've gotten a little bit better and a little bit better. But I think talking is one thing that we've emphasized a great deal all year, and we'll do really well on 2 possessions in the next 2 possessions. I mean, I screamed at, I think it was Cam and Luke, 2 seniors, and been here plenty of, a long time, and still not be able to get, all they had to do was talk. If you talk, there's no problem. And I think that's one of the things we've emphasized so much more this year than any other things.
Well, where are Sterling, Manley, and Luke Black in their rehab process, and could they return before the end of the regular season?
Sterling practiced full court yesterday for the first time, and Leakey hasn't practiced half court or full court. And now it's a tough situation, because you've got to be significantly better, or I'm not going to put you in there. I mean, it's the bottom line. It's what's best for that team may be what we already have, and the rotation we have, the minutes we have. So if you're going to try to come back at this time of year, you'd better be coming back really good. And that's just a fact of life. But I don't anticipate, that's really good. I don't anticipate playing Sterling tomorrow. And Leakey, of course, we can't play full court, can't even practice, and he's definitely not going to play. But I think with Sterling's closer than Leakey, and yet Leakey looks good. He's not limping anymore, but he just has some strength issues in that foot.
How has Sterling handled sort of being out this long with something that it seemed like a minor thing at first, and it's clearly, you know, something that's bothered him longer. How's he sort of handled?
I think he's handled it pretty well, but it's really discouraging too. I mean, you know, I don't know how many games he's missed. 16 games. I mean, my gosh, you know, it's not just like taking a week off. And so I know it's been discouraging for him, and it's put him in a bad mood about life and all those kind of things, but it's what it is. It's hard, but he can handle it probably better than other guys because he's been hurt before. You know, he's had 2 broken legs, so he knows a little bit more about it than the other guys do. But it's not easy, and you work in the off season, you work in the preseason to go through the running program, the weight program, and all that to get ready to play, and then all of a sudden you're not playing it. And if you're not playing for 16 weeks, 16 games, that's a long time.
Roy, kind of building off that answer, how happy have you been with Garrison Brooks? It seems like he's kind of come into his own in the time that Manley's been out. So how happy have you been with him, you know, coming in and having to obviously play more minutes without Manley, but just his overall game in general? Well,
I think he came along in the preseason because while Sterling was here, Garrison still got to start because he was more reliable, more steady. You know, you can put any words in there that you want. These guys trust him. He's talking more defensively, doing a nice job there. So he's just more solid. But he has gotten a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. And you know, if you win the Defensive Player of the Game award more than anybody else, you know, that means that you're being pretty consistent. And I think he won it again in the Syracuse game. And so it's like 8 or 9 times.
On a guy like Nasir Little, a lot of times when they come in highly touted like that and they start off slowly, they don't put it together until the next year. Well, what about him this year? You saw that he's come out strong at the end here.
Well, he was really coming, I think, really well, and I can't tell you which 2 games they start running together a little bit, but he played 23 minutes, 25 minutes in 2 straight games, and all of a sudden he gets hurt 3 different times. And so that was, he took a giant leap backwards at that point, because after those 2 games, I thought that his minutes playing time would probably continue to increase to get up there where they'd be no question about who the top 6 guys were, but spraining his ankle, getting hit in the sternum, you know, getting poked in the eye the other night. I mean, it's been a hard time for him, and it seems like every time he turns around, it's some other little thing that doesn't mean that he can't play, but it means he can't play at the highest level that he thinks he can, and we do also. But yeah, some freshmen, some sophomores, some juniors, some seniors don't get it until their senior year. But I was really pleased. Not satisfied by any means, but I was really pleased with how he was coming, and a couple of games there. His defensive grade for like 6 straight games was positive, and it's all taken a back seat now because of the little nagging injuries.
When you watched the film of him the other night, he didn't necessarily flash like the Florida State game, but it was kind of a workman-like. He was on the boards, he was hitting free throws. What did you see on film in the last game in particular?
The same thing that you said. He wasn't as into it mentally on the defensive end of the floor as he had been there for those, again, 4, 5, 6 games in a row before he got hurt. But 7 out of 8 from the foul line. You know, he was 2 for 6 or 2 for 7 or something like that from the field. Missed a couple of shots. He had 2 outside shots. He's been making those in practice. But no, I thought that he started to come back, and then he gets poked in the eye. I mean, he was really red. The good news is where it was all red was not in the spot you worry about the most.
He seems like he's handled all the, outside expectations, worried more about his own. He seems like a pretty insightful kid as far as handling this stuff.
He's been absolutely phenomenal handling all that stuff. I mean, it's just amazing, and he's really handled it well. He wants to get better, thinks he is getting better, knows he has to get better on the defensive end of the floor. Was really excited for 6 straight games. I think it was 6 straight to see that he had a positive grade for 6 straight games defensively, because it was an ugly scene before that. But he really has just handled it so well. It's been amazing.
Well, Steve said that we had 7th next after you. What areas have you gotten fairly comfortable with him out there on the court, and maybe a couple of things you're still pushing him a little harder?
Yeah, I'm still pushing the same thing. Stay in front of the ball and don't turn it over. If you stay in front of the ball and don't turn it over, it's what you need to do on offense and defense both to be a point guard. And he's given us some really good minutes, and gave us some really good minutes in some games where Kobe was struggling a little bit. He's another one that started out the season was really just getting better and better and better, and then he hit a lull there for a little bit of time as well. But his whole career has been hurt until this year, so it's been a big challenge for him to. He hasn't played this long into the season without having to take some games off.
Coach, at what point did you notice Cam was moving a lot better after the surgery with his hips?
Yeah, what was the first part of your question?
At what point did you first notice?
Oh, it's easy to just watch him on defense and watch him run. I mean, it's pretty easy for us. It was pretty easy to see how much easier it was for him, and he didn't have the grimace on his face, knowing that it wasn't comfortable. Some of the drills in the past he struggled with that he hasn't struggled with this year, and I think it's helped him immensely.
Can you tell me which drills in particular he struggled with?
The ones in
No,
everything. Okay. I mean, if we're in a layup line, if we're passing, if we're dribbling, if we're in a defensive stance, I mean, if it's uncomfortable for you to move, it's hard to play basketball. And everything we're doing requires you to move. And he's just better at it than everything. And then the biggest thing in my mind is mentally for him that he's not in pain. I mean, if he gets to go up to the buffet line, I don't really watch him there. But I watch everything else he does on the basketball court, and he's doing it more freely than he ever has.
Coach, how important is a regular season title given what's on down the road for this team?
Well, it's always been one of our goals, and we talk about it, but it's just like the NCAA tournament. I always say, don't be looking down the road, enjoy the journey. If you're looking down the road, that's where you're going, back home. And so just enjoy the journey and do the best you can every single day. But yeah, we talk about it and have for 31 years as a head coach.
What have you seen out of Clemson so far this season?
Very unlucky, and I hope it lasts another 36 hours. Brad really does a good job, Defensively, they're really good. And how about a guy that was like third or fourth in the league in free throw shooting, missing 4 straight free throws? That just doesn't happen. And but very unlucky. I can't remember all of them. North Carolina State, Louisville, they ended up winning by 1, and they lost by that one by 1 as well. They've lost 2 or 3 games by 1 and another game by 2, and all of them a little weird. So very unlucky is what I would, like I say, I hope it lasts another 36 hours.
What's the challenge with a guy like Elijah Thomas, who's been pretty effective inside for them?
Shooting 60-something%, I guess I got the totals right here. 63%. We don't have anybody on our team shooting like that. He's got long arms, got great touch. He can turn both ways. Yeah, he likes to turn one way more than the other, but he can turn both ways. He can put the ball on the floor. He's a good passer. He tries to make passes, and some guys just don't ever throw it back out like it's a black hole. He can block shots, but he gives them a score. He's averaging 13, and they don't go up and down the floor as much as we do, but 13 points for them is a good number. And again, shooting 63%. And defensively, he's probably, you'd have to ask Brad, but he may be more valuable to him defensively, blocking shots and rebounding than he is anything else, but he's having a really good year. Anybody else?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about Kenny. We got senior night coming up next week. What's maybe impressed you most about him during this year? I know the shot had been falling, but what other things has he done?
Well, I don't know if I can just say this year because I just love him as a kid. And he's handled a lot of injuries, handled missing time, handled a tough start his freshman year, not making the 3 until the ACC tournament. And he just keeps coming back. He's very positive and enthusiastic every single day. He's fun to be around every single day. Last year he had some stretches early where he'd score 15 or 18 the first half and then would take 1 shot in the whole second half. I said, I'd like you to do the same thing both halves. But this year it's been more difficult for him. The shot hadn't gone in as easily as it was going in for him last year. But defensively he's continued to take almost every game the best perimeter guy. And that might hurt his offense a little bit because he's expanding and using a lot of energy, exhausting himself a little bit on the defensive end for. One thing I do like, if you just take his pre-conference stats and then take his conference stats, which means you're playing better competition. His stats have gotten even a little bit better once we got into conference play, and I think that's directly related to his toughness and his focus. Once we got into league play, he even raised it a little bit. Anything else, guys? Thank you.
Thank you.